Byron nuclear plant. This is the smoke in the air.
known as associates. We had hundreds of them.
Look what's inside that smoke, them clouds.
No. Associates. When you come into the life and you take the oath, you come in as the position of a soldier. That's when you're a made man.
Got it. Okay. And I guess during that time there was a bunch of major wars that were happening in the Colombo family.
Yeah, back at that time, just prior to Joe Colombo becoming boss, we had the Gallo-Profaci War, when the Gallo brothers, who were part of the family, kind of revolted, and there was a war going on at that time. Colombo family, we've had our share of wars during our existence, so that was, I was alive for that one, so it's one that I remember.
Okay, what year was all that?
It was in the 50s into the 60s. Yeah.
Okay, so we get into the 60s, Colombo takes over, and there's another war at that point?
Not really. I mean, they called it the Gallo-Colombo War also, but it was kind of like a spillover. Because I think at the time the Gallos felt that they should be in control of the family, and so there was an internal war at that time for that. And it was eventually resolved.
Okay, during these wars, basically guys are getting killed on both sides.
This is what's that Byron nuclear plant throwing the smoke in the air.
Like how many people are getting killed on a monthly basis?
This
This
wow.
was before my time actually as involved in the life, but my dad was a prominent figure at the time.
Right.
And, quite a few went down during the Gallo-Profaci War or Gallo-Colombo War. I don't know the exact number at the time, but I do remember some incidents with my dad since he was very active during that time. And I know that we hadn't seen him for a while. He was away, which, he was, kind of undercover at that time. And quite a few guys were killed, I remember.
They type like a firefighter type look.
So your grandfather was associated
Hook
with the
nose,
action.
mustache.
That's correct.
But then your
That
father
Jesus.
became a mayor.
Yes.
Jesus with a fire hat on.
My father grew up in Brooklyn, and he was
Like a motherfucker with a
tough
fire
kid,
hat on.
and he just caught the eye of some of the older guys, the guys that were made at the time, and he started to hang with them. And the way he tells me, my grandfather actually didn't want him to become part of the life. Even though my grandfather was very well respected in our neighborhood in Greenpoint, but he never wanted to be involved, although he could have. He liked being, on the outside. And kind of cautioned my father to get involved because he said, once you do, your life is really not your own. But my dad had it in him. And,
There's some KENNEKA
he
stuff.
ended up getting involved in the 30s, actually. He was young, but he got involved.
Okay, and he actually moved his way up to the underboss.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so describe the structure. At the top you have the boss,
Right.
and then you have the underboss, and then the capo.
Yeah, so the boss and underboss regime or captain and a soldier. And those are the four positions. There is a position called consigliere, and he's kind of appointed by the boss.
Look, she look all twisted up and toe up, like she got ran over by that car.
Between the men and the boss. Like if you have a
Like dragged.
something that's going on in the family, you go to the consigliere.
Or is that dog eating her up?
The only problem with that is that if you have a gripe with the boss and you go to the consigliere and he brings you to the boss, you're probably going to get killed. So you never gripe about the boss. It's not smart that way.
Okay, so your dad actually moved up from a soldier to a capo, that's to an underboss.
Correct.
Is there a reason why he never became a boss?
He went to prison. Yeah, I believe until today that if my father were on the street and didn't get into the problems like that, he would have been the boss of him.
So here you are growing up in this family. Your dad is a high-ranking member of the Colombo family.
KENNEKA Jenkins.
Siblings, you have a brother and a sister?
Yeah, I was one of 7.
One of 7.
Okay. 2 brothers and all those sisters.
Okay, all the same parents?
Actually, my father was married once before. So he had 3 children from his first marriage.
Okay, there are 4 children.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a family, and you're growing up, and then as a kid, you don't really know anything different, but you're starting to get older, and you're seeing that your dad is a little different than the other dads. There's more police presence, and there's more secrecy, and so forth. So at what point did you start to realize what's going on?
Well, it was early on because my dad was one of the highest profile figures of his day. He was kind of like the John Gotti of his day, if you can make that comparison. But law enforcement tactics against organized crime were different back then than they are today.